Spending Freezers, this is Julie and welcome to another video in my new series Scrapbook Spending Freeze 102, which is just going to be all about challenges that you can do while you're on a spending freeze, or even just want to have a slowdown of your spending. So just challenges that you'll be able to do totally from your own stash. So today's challenge is a monochromatic embellishment challenge. So I'm just suggesting that you pick one colour and just dive into your stash and pick whatever bits and pieces appeal to you in that colour, and let's throw them on the page and see how we go. So I'm inspired by these photos here and the red of my daughter's jumpsuit. So I've got this red alphabet here, and I'm going to look for anything in my stash that kind of matches these tones of red, and we'll see how much I can throw onto the page. So I've already got my embellishment folder open, so I'm thinking, when am I ever going to use apple? So maybe I'll give that sticker border strip a go. I'll just go through, I'll pull out some bits and pieces from here. I've got my buttons, I've got, what have I got over here? I've got eyelets and sequins. For whatever reason I don't seem to have red brads, but that's okay. So I might use a bit of that. I've got washi tape, I've got flowers. These ones are probably the right shade. I've got some ribbon there. I've even got some punches, which just happen to be red. That's not why I chose them, but so that I can dive in perhaps to my scraps and punch a few little shapes if I need to fill in some gaps. So that's where we're at, and I'll fast forward you and we'll see what we come up with. Okay, so this first bit is super speeded up just as I flick through my folder and pull a few possible embellishments out. And I guess didn't take me too long to think about the fact that purely in terms of stash busting, red was perhaps not the smartest colour for me to use for this challenge, just because I don't have a huge stash of red embellishments, whereas perhaps pink I would have a lot more of. And that made me think of two things that I wanted to say to you guys. Number one is, even though sure we're doing these challenges to help us use up some of our stash, I think it's important not to lose sight of the fact that we're also recording our memories, and that's really why we started scrapbooking in the first place. And this was the story that I was motivated to tell. So I think if we go into this purely about using up our stash, we're probably going to burn out, because we're not maybe going to be telling the stories that we want to be telling. So I'd say always keep that, in the front of your mind, that when you're choosing a page to do, make sure it's a story that, that's close to your heart at the moment, and is a story that you want to tell. And the other thing that I would say is that this is the kind of challenge that you could do, again and again, in really every colour of the rainbow, or certainly every colour, that you've got in your stash. I could certainly do this in, I probably could do this in hot pink and rose pink and some other shade of pink, and perhaps I will if I get a chance, and I'll certainly post them on the group if I manage to do that. Yeah, so feel free to play around with this one a bit, as many times as you'd like. I'd love it if some of you did this challenge more than once and shared those with us. Of course, you'll see later on that my embellishments are very spread out. You obviously don't have to do your pages that way. You could certainly still cluster your embellishments a lot more, do a lot more layering, whatever's you're comfortable doing, or like me, something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone that you want to give a go. So of course I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with and share on the group. So as I've been talking, you would have seen I did punch a few hearts and circles, and then cut some squares, just because I was struggling to find enough things to fill that space with. And then while the camera was off, I remembered that I also have kind of word and sentiment sort of stickers and die cuts in a separate part of my folder, so I pulled a few of those out. Now this one that I'm just playing with at the moment, that one says hello, and I pulled it straight away because I thought that would make a good part of my title. Now I don't know about you guys, but sometimes with those words and phrases I do struggle a little bit to kind of find phrases that are appropriate enough for my pages. On this one, I really gave myself permission to be a little bit more flexible than I sometimes am about the words and phrases that I use. So I've got, for example, there was a word loyal on a lot of stickers that were a boy themed, I guess, sheet of stickers, and I thought, well, that's obviously perfect for a dog, so I've used that one. I've got remember this, enjoy the little things, this makes me incredibly happy. And there's a long skinny sticker which you can't see on there yet. It says the wind longs to play with your hair, and it was from a set of stickers that was all about, I guess, the beach and summer holidays and things like that. Well, this layout, this is my sister-in-law's dog, Robbie, who has since passed away, but he was a lovely old Labrador, um, and would happily sit there for hours, and Maddie would just love to brush his hair, which meant the wind playing with your hair kind of was appropriate, because by the time she'd finished brushing his hair there was just Labrador fur all over the yard. It's a bit of a novelty for us because our dog is more like a poodle cross type dog, and yeah, he doesn't shed the way a Labrador and that sort of dog would shed. So it was a bit of a novelty for Maddie, and yeah, just the fact that he'd sit there and let her brush, and actually really love that contact. So it's a lovely story to document, and obviously we'll miss him, and they obviously miss him a lot more. Now, while I've been chatting again, you saw me looking at my sheet of alphabet stickers, and I actually did cut out quite a big chunk of me just looking at it because I hadn't realised my title. I didn't have the right stickers left on that sheet to make my title, and there was a while I was just sitting there trying to work out if a few other different titles would work, and none of them would work out of that sticky sheet. So I put that aside, and I'm thinking I'll probably stamp my title. There, here we go. That's that one. The wind plays with your hair. So yeah, you'll see me start to stamp my heading in a minute. I knew that I didn't have any other red stickers that were going to work for this title, for this page. Perhaps I could have done black or another colour, but stamping in red is what I decided to do. I'm guessing for many of you guys, you're not going to have a trouble with the shortage of stickers or thickers or whatever. Yeah, but that's fine. Doing a different colour would have been fine, but this is what I came up with. It's probably not the neatest heading that I've ever made, but still I'm happy with the page, and yeah, all is good. So guys, again, I hope that you will participate in this challenge. So just pick one colour of embellishment inspired by your photos and the story that you want to tell, and just see what you can put on a page, and we'd love to see your results in the group. If you're not in the group already, the link will be down below, and if you're watching this, certainly as I'm recording this, I still have a survey open over on the Facebook group, and if you haven't participated in that, I would love it if you did so. It's an opportunity to get to know a little bit more about you guys, where you're at, and what you'd like out of the Facebook group. Yeah, and I hope that I'll be able to use those results to make my YouTube channel and the group a better place to help everyone in your spending freeze journey. So I'm nearly finished up with the page, so I'll leave you with just a little bit of music, and I will catch up with you guys soon.